Hey, and welcome back to FSX. Today we are back in FSPassengers and Adventures Airliner series. And we are today not in the Yanhan DC-3, we are today in the DC-3 from Just Flight again. Why? That's relatively easy because we're gonna take this plane up towards Sweden. It is standing always here in Amsterdam, and it helps us not even a little bit. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring this plane to a point where it maybe bring us something. And when I open my sheet, wait a second, I'm open the sheet for preparation like a boss. No, I cannot find the. I'm a pro. Did I say that I'm always good in something like that? Where the fuck is that sheet? I cleaned my desktop and I still have no clue where it is. There it is. Okay, I'll open the file real quick. And why the fuck is this? Why the fuck is the list of airports open? I don't ask. So I can give you this view real quick. So that's our sheet, as you may know, from the whole vintage airliner series, and with the old planes. And oh, it's a little bit cropped. Wait a second. Okay, so we have this plane. So right now I need to actually do that. That's also in Schiphol, this plane. Okay, so we got this DC-3 Lufthansa, Schiphol, we have the DC-3 KLM in Schiphol, and we have the Comet in Heraklion. That means we have these three planes. Actually, I checked something real quick. Okay, I was just checking if there is something that I could use instead of the Lufthansa livery, but I need to download something for that. So we just take the Lufthansa up, and for now, we have these planes. I'm gonna do this real quick. We have these planes, the three planes. The Comet as a mediocre long-range plane because we can fly as a jet speed, you know, with a high speed. Then we have this two. Why do I always get interrupted when I record these videos? I have no clue. So we have this three planes and the two DC-3s, as I said. The KLM one and the Lufthansa one. The Lufthansa one is the is the Just Flight one, and the other is the Untitled. So that means we have two planes. We have this Germany routes, the Netherlands route, and then the international routes. The international routes, this is right now a little bit paused because it's more or less done with the Just Flight Comet. And I didn't use the DC-3 so far. I should do that, right? And that's the charter flights that I already set up, so that's also a thing. But so normally I would take this Lufthansa DC-3 towards Germany and fly this route, but I consider to bring this Lufthansa DC-3 towards Scandinavia and fly with it in Scandinavia and buy a new DC-3, but then a Yanhan one. I hope I said it in the right name, and my brain is not working today, so don't mind me if it's the wrong name. It's actually Han is really, but I don't know. But you know what I mean. I mean the freeway DC-3, and I will bring this, then buy a second one, maybe also in KLM, and then we can fly this route. But then I stationary this plane already in EDDR. Maybe I'm gonna rework this whole routes because they're relatively short, as you may notice. And maybe I should bring these more on a long range German routes. I don't know. I can check that. Then, you know, we have a lot of small routes already in the KLM ones in the Netherlands, because the Netherlands are not so big than Germany is. So I think we're gonna increase the range of this plane, of these flights. Maybe this is actually not a bad flight, but maybe I skip out one of these and you know. But for now, we're gonna fly to Sweden with the Lufthansa one. So I have one plane up there, and then we can introduce Scandinavia routes. That means we're gonna, for the first period of time, we're gonna fly more or less all the Scandinavian main cities, so, or better, the capitals. So Oslo and shit like that, or like today, Stockholm. So we're gonna fly to Echo Sierra Sierra Alpha, Arlanda airport, because I got 2 new sceneries for my FSX, and I thought it would be great to introduce them into the Vintage Airline series. And yeah, and the base, I think, if the VES is not spacing too much out like in Schiphol, I'm gonna introduce the second base in Arlanda, in Stockholm, because it's actually really good for the positioning for the whole region there, because it's in the middle of everything. And I think that's a great idea to introduce the third base of our company, and then later on we could buy another Comet and fly just between these 3 cities. So that means we could fly from Saarbrücken to Amsterdam to Stockholm, from Stockholm to Saarbrücken back. That would be a great route, because then we got one short leg, a bigger leg, and a bigger leg. You know what I mean. But yeah, we just take this plane now up to Stockholm, and then we can check out what happens, right? Before we go there, I'm gonna open the Sky Vector page real quick, and that's our flight route for today. We're gonna change this to 160, and the altitude is... No, that was wrong. Planned is 10,000. Okay, so this is our flight route for today. We're gonna start because of the wind on 18 center. Then we're gonna use the, what is it called again? Betzel? Give me 2. Battles 2. Battles, yeah, the Battles 3Y departure. And then we're gonna follow N873. Then we're gonna turn right towards the VOR Elde. From Elde, we're gonna do something that you should do, flying against the wrong in one way towards Sampo, but in Sampo it's okay again. So then we're gonna head towards Helgoland. From Helgoland to Alzey, that was not what I wanted to do. From Alzey up to Aalborg, so once through to Denmark, followed through Denmark. Then from Aalborg to Bakker. From Bakker, we're gonna follow this airway towards Aros, and then from Aros we are gonna head to Eltok, and as you may notice, and that is the Eltok K6P. Eltok K6P. Brain, please. Eltok 6P approach for 19 right or left. But which one we're gonna use it depends on how the weather situation changed until we reach there. It shouldn't be changing, and the best runways that we could land on is 19 right or left. But yeah, it can always change, right? And we can always change this with this plane, because we just do a normal VOR navigation. Let's head back towards the plane, start it up, and we're gonna see us then in game again. And we're back after around 30 minutes of struggling around. I'm back because I got an issue with my FSX again, always happens when I use FSPassengers. There's some weird, weird in this game. I don't know. I probably need to reinstall everything again. I'm pissed off that. But yeah, we are in the DC-3 now, and we're gonna take this plane. In the meanwhile, after 30 minutes reinstalling a lot of shit, I was considering something. But after we took off, we can talk about that. First of all, we're gonna bring this plane up in the air and fly towards Stockholm. And give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna open my little nav real quick. Okay, so right now I have forgot to load the weather. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna load the weather real quick. Okay, in the meanwhile, the weather updated, as you may notice. It's dark outside, and that means we're gonna take off from a different runway. We don't use 18 center anymore. Now we're gonna use runway 27. What gonna take maybe a little bit of time consumption for us, but it's not big of an issue. Give me 2 seconds. I need to open my sky vectors again for the whole VOR thingies. Okay, so something is stuck in my throat, as you may noticed. Yeah, we are in the plane. We're gonna start this flight, but before we're gonna start this flight, I was considering to start the engines first, because I have no clue how much power we have on this plane anymore. That probably would be a great thing to start the engines real quick. That means that we get power. Oh, they're separate. But okay. They're separated. Okay. Seems like the battery is dead again. No, it's not dead again actually. Yeah, okay. We only start one engine because that's enough to power this plane. And in the meanwhile, we're gonna start the flight real quick. Start flight. 19 passengers are here. Wait a second. There we go. Okay, vintage airliners. Okay, Blyfus. Okay, we're gonna use 19 passengers. I'm gonna fully load the plane with fuel. That has actually what? Okay, there's something wrong. Does this plane has a different okay. If I do that. Okay, now it's okay. Nah, there's something broken. See that with the slider? So. Okay, we fully load cargo. And now let's see how much fuel I can take. No, now it's... What? I don't understand this right now. Interesting. So I need at least 85, as far as I know, from the flight. And now, can you please update the numbers? Okay. Set destination. Stockholm, Arlanda, Sweden.
Destination set.
And we're gonna load real time, 2 minutes, I don't know. Yeah, I reinstalled it. I need to, you know what I mean. Can I not? Close. Unlock. Unlock. I'm gonna unlock it very quick. Be right back. Okay. After unlocking the expansion again. I was thinking about it. I didn't unlock it after reinstalling it. Normally when you reinstall it, it's directly puts punches in your face like, "Hey mate, you didn't unlocked it again." This time I need to do do it on my own, but oh no, that's the wrong one. That's Arlanda.
Destination set.
And we're gonna load in real time. Actually, the center of gravity is great. Okay, load in real time.
Engine instrument check, flight control check, handset.
Okay. Doors are already open. I didn't start the engine now because I know there's enough fuel in this plane. No, enough power in this plane, so I don't need to bother with that. I totally need that. The vector. Oh, so weird if you've used to the Manfred Hahn. So now I know the real name. It's Manfred Hahn. Yeah, Manfred Hahn. Not Jan Hahn. It's Manfred, yeah. There it is. Ugh, this looks so disgusting. I never said that. Okay. How did this work again? Oh, it's not working because the plane is offline. Okay. We could start the right engine again, so I have the power.
Very cool. Here you go.
Ever been in a cockpit before?
Now come on. Come on! Why in the hell are you not starting? Am I stupid now?
Captain, all passengers are aboard, and we're ready for pushback.
Am I stupid?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard and thank you for flying with us. We now request your full attention as the flight attendants demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft.
Am I stupid? Oh yeah, of course I'm stupid. Of course I'm stupid. I forgot to turn up the mixture. Can someone kill me, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to these life-saving tips in case of an emergency. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases, your nearest exit may be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit. Doors can be opened by moving the handle in the direction of the arrow. Each door is equipped with an inflatable slide, which may also be detached and used as a life raft. Oxygen and the air pressure are always being monitored. Thank you for your attention, and please enjoy your flight.
Okay. Let's get up the speaker bowl. We are 113.3. We're gonna use the landing lights as taxi lights. So don't mind me. Okay. So, you don't need to do anything in this plane. If you compare this to the Manfred Hahn one. Okay, our course is 52. Okay, 52. Nav 1. Release parking brake and get a pushback. Get a pushback. Hello. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna do that without a pushback. Okay. I think I'm gonna speed this up for the taxi because we have a quite long taxi, and we're gonna see us again when I reached runway 27. Okay, we are back and we are at runway 27. As you may notice, we're gonna head onto the runway. And I saw some stormy weather up there, directly in front of us. So it could happen that we face some interesting weather in here for the departure. Okay. Turning left onto the runway. Okay, landing line is up. Okay. On the captain view again. Bring the plane to a stop and Where the hell is... No. 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 Ah. Parking brake and the tail wheel lock. On. And it's time to get out of here. What's that? $40 knots. 60, 80. 80 is enough to rotate actually. So we are up in the air, positive rate.
Gear up.
Gear is coming up. Flaps can come up. We face some turbulences. And we came through the clouds already. Two 2,000 feet. When we get through the clouds, I'm gonna decrease the mixture and the props, but for now I'm stay with it. Oh, We actually only see the clouds, but it seems like we're getting through the clouds. We're already at 4,000 feet. But coming to the point, what I want to talk about is actually what planes are coming, because right now we stuck, or better, not we stuck, but we only had in the company the DC-3 and the DC-3 and the Comet, and I actually want something different to fly, or better, something else. So I don't only fly 2 planes all the time, and one plane is actually a little bit annoying for me to fly, because you cannot change the volume good, you know, for good reasons. And I want to do introduce, of course, new planes, but the question always is, at which point do we stop to say it is a vintage plane? Because real vintage planes, what do you figure out as a
turned off the seatbelt sign.
As a real vintage airplane? And that's my issue right now. How far I could go for so the official vintage, I think, as far as I know, vintage is standing for 20 years from now. So behind us. So how is it called again? In the past, 20 years in the past. That means 97 would be already vintage, and that's for me a little bit weird, because that's actually more or less for me retro and not vintage. So my issue right now is actually, what do I use, or better, what is for me vintage and what is for me retro? And do I go with retro planes, for example? There are a lot of retro planes that I could use. And which planes, in which, of course, a lot of times a plane could go, I could use a lot of planes actually. For example, I could use also a 737 just in a 100 or 200 series, because they are really old and just they got developed a lot more, and now you see how far they go. And for me, actually, I think I'm gonna stop with the 75, something like that, maybe. And everything after that is for me a retro plane, and you know, everything after 75 could come, but I don't want to use that a lot in this whole series. So for me in this series, actually, is my intention to fly a lot of old planes, and not too much with FMS and shit like that, but for longer flights, for example, later on for long-term flights, a DC-8 or in maybe already the DC-10 would be also incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen,
so
it is now safe to use your portable electronic device.
there are a lot of options actually to use, and it feels like I have already some issues with the nav that I need to figure out, because it should close in already. Weird. Weird. No, it actually got it. Weird. Because it should use the 52. Oh, weird. For L... Oh, I don't know. But, as I said, I don't know which plane is actually fitting good in here, or better, what plane could come in a good opportunity for us. So oh no, there was something. I cannot change the elevation pitch for some strange reason. Oh no, there was something like that, that the elevation pitch was fixed when I turn on the autopilot. Is it fixed on a number that I use? No, it's weird.
Captain, we are now climbing above 10,000 feet.
Yep, I know. But yeah, the question is which how far do I go for totally wrong. I don't know. Weird. Maybe I need to fix that. For now, I'm navigate over the middle nav. The VR is wrong. But yeah, as I said, it's a little bit a thing that I don't know how far I could go. So, for example, a great plane that I want to use is the DC-10 or not the DC-10, the DC-8, because there are some options. And give me 2 seconds. So, for example, DC-10 was produced between 68 and 88. That would fit in a vintage plane. But it's still a modern, for me at least, you know, the MD-11 and everything, it's still used a lot. And yeah, you know what I mean? Maybe, would be amazing to fly this plane, but in the same point, is it really fitting in a in a company that use DC-3? That's my main issue. Maybe I should use them just on long haul flights, really, and maybe for the really for the long haul flights, or better for the bigger flights between bigger airports. Because they are fitting more passengers in instead of the biggest plane that we have so far is the Comet 4. And probably I should start with the DC-8 then. And I should just get the DC-8 and fly with the DC-8, because the DC-8 is actually not a bad plane for that. And maybe I should use the DC-8 DC-8 was produced between 58 and 72, so that fits totally in my measuring. The question is just which one do I use, because you get both the 10 to 40 and the 50 to 70 or 80 watts is from Just Flight. So I don't know which one I use. If I use the 70 ones, so the newer ones or the older ones. I think in the end it turns out I'm gonna get both, but I don't know which one I prefer to use. I just test it out in the end, I think. And that's my issue right now. Which planes there should come soon, or you know what I mean, which planes that I should use after the DC-3 and the Comet. And I saw that actually that's a thing that I consider that it's totally coming if it gets released, at the point that it's got released. There are 2 planes coming that I think they are fitting in the series. The one is not fitting because it's a new one, but it fits in the airport that we fly to, and that is the Fokker 50. The Coronado posted a picture on their Facebook page that they released a Fokker 50. That's the biggest plane that they produce so far. It's a commercial plane. Normally they, you know, they don't produce so commercial planes, and Fokker 50 was always a plane that I wanted to use, especially because we have a base in Amsterdam, and it is still an old school plane that was produced from 85. So the first flight was 85 and the produce time was 87 to 96. So that means it's totally in the not official, but in a overall vintage, you know, fitting, and it's a retro plane. And in my opinion, maybe you should go for the vintage airliner series that we fit also retro planes in it. So in a less amount, but we're gonna fit them in because we need some money makers. That's my biggest point on that whole thing. We need some money makers. And another plane that I totally want to get is the PMDG posted they posted a thing that they produced their X-plane DC-6 for FSX and PA3D. That means that the DC-6 is coming, and the DC-6 totally fits in the whole retro scheme. So that's a plane that totally comes when they release it, but we never know when it got released, and that's the point. So far, I want to have at least one more plane, so I can cycle between 3 planes. Probably I want to have a plane that is a Scandinavian, so I can, for example, park this one, because we all know I don't like the... Well, we all know that I don't like the Just Flight DC-3. I don't like it. It is a little bit clunky, I don't know, you know, it doesn't feel very well polished. I didn't pay a lot for it, so I don't mind. And I totally wait for the new C-47 that is getting produced from Just Flight. Just Flight is right now producing a pay version of this plane again, and that's a point, because it's the 46 what they produce. Because actually that would be, it looks amazing, because it totally looks like the Manfred Hahn one, just with some newer things.
Please fasten your seatbelt.
Just newer aviation stuff. But it's actually not that bad, because we could all, of course, you can fit a vintage airplane with turboprop. For example, there are DC-3s with turboprops and newer aviation shit. So that is not a point of this whole not vintage style look. For me, it's the plane itself, the fuselage, what tells us a vintage style, you know. And I totally wait for it, what they release, because if this plane is actually not that bad, maybe I'm gonna use. But I have always this question when they produce a new TC3 version, or better now, the military version. Why should I pay for it when there is a freeware version that is actually really good? That's always a thing, and I'm gonna wait for it until they release it, and especially the price for it. But for now, I want to have a good plane that I can fly in the SAS or something like that. Livery. So that means that I probably when I go on the SAS Scandinavian Airlines Wikipedia is a great thing, right? I want to have English, because English things are always better. Where's the old? They are always old fleet. Cabins, awards, traffic. No, there's an old store. I want the old fleet. What I used earlier. Maybe the trim one has this actually. Yeah, there it goes. So they got a DC-3, the Vickers Viscount, the Vickers Viking. The Viscount is actually a plane that you can buy from Just Flight. The Saab 2000-8 CHA 200 Convair CV 440. They got a Fokker 50. Fokker 50 fits already. The DC-8 for example. The DC-8 30, 50, 60 and 63 was used from them. That means that the DC-8 would fit in there. Yeah. I'm gonna plan this probably, and now I'm gonna fix this whole situation with the VR and speed up. You know, I talked a lot of shit right now about what should come, and if you have an opinion about this, I'm open for it. I want to hear your opinions, and I see you guys when we reach the approach in a bit.
Gentlemen, we're now serving beverages. Juices and soft drinks around the house. Alcoholic beverages, they're gonna cost you.
And we're back for the approach. And we just passed the VOR from Arlas. Need to check this. Ars. What is this? Aros. We just passed or better, not just. We passed a lot. We are above Uppsala right now. I navigated actually this because I saw Uppsala and we need to head towards Uppsala because there's no VOR that could bring us towards our runway track. And right now we travel towards the runway. Can I do something like that? No. Okay. Let's pitch down so we can start to descend because we are just past our descent point. Try to get a stable descent here. I tried to get a round of 160 knots for the descent.
And Captain, we're descending below 10,000.
Okay, that seems to be a good stable approach. And before we're gonna head to that, we look at the chart real quick. And for that, I'm gonna bring up the desktop capture. That's a desktop capture. Okay, and we are gonna face. Seems to be stuck again. We're gonna start to approach for runway 19 right, and that is actually not a big over the year. We just try to get a point of 10 nautical miles out of the VOR Arlanda and then head straight towards the airport. And we're coming in like that, something like that, or better like that. And yeah, it's a straightforward approach actually, nothing special. And if it's flickering a little bit around, I change a little bit in my FSX config so I don't get a crash in here, because yesterday I've done this already. I flew the same flight and my game crashed while approaching Arlanda, because I was out of S, like always. It's actually an airport. Interesting. Because I didn't change the setting for running ORBX and the airport of Arlanda at the same time, because I'm using it for the first time then, and yeah, I tested it stationary but didn't flew into the airport. Is this the airport already? Yeah, that's the airport. And I decreased the LOD rate. You see that in the distance, that the graphics are not in detail, but that's because I use an lower LOD, so I don't get too much, put too much VES out. Okay, and to come in a good height, I'm gonna turn on this again. I hope it's holding the... It's holding the glide path that I choose. And we're gonna fly a little bit to the left. To the left hand turn, and then we're gonna turn around as soon we intercept the glide slope, or better, we start to intercept the glide slope, and then when we reach intercept the glide slope, I'm gonna turn off the autopilot, of course, and fly it the rest on my own.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are descending to our destination. Please fasten your seatbelts and ensure that all electronic devices are in their off position.
Okay, now we're gonna turn around. Oh no, wrong direction. We're gonna do a right hand turn and then go for 185. We need to be on 2,500 feet for the glide slope, so if it's going up, it's not that bad. Just hold the 2,500 then. Whoa! Face turbulences. Turn off the autopilot.
Be careful, you're pulling too many G's.
Yeah, sorry. Turned off the autopilot in a turn. And that was not a good idea, but bring the nose up again. Try to hold at 2,500 feet. until we intercept the glide slope. Runway is inside already. Use airspeed. Below 1.5 knots, so I can get one flaps of notch. One notch of flaps. What the fuck, brain? Come on, work. One flap. Let's check this actually. Yeah, it's always hard because you have no indicator in the cockpit. When you fly normally the Manfredians one. Now we're intercepting the glide slope. It means we can start to descend a little bit. Actually, I fly so slow, the glide slope is minimal. Oh. And every feet is a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has been given clearance to land. Please remain
Gear down.
seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
Okay. Now the glide slope is coming down. At least a little bit. Okay, at least I have no any. I didn't got an VES notification so far. That's actually really good. Yesterday I got as soon as I turned over to the runway, I got an VES notification. So I'm happy that I at least didn't got this notification so far. I descend again, so too quickly. Or better, I didn't descend too much, but it's too much for the glide slope actually. Oh, it's reloading the textures. It's not good to reload the textures right now. Please don't do this. I need to lean directly away from the airport because the crosswind is pushing us totally off. And right now I fly via Peppies instead of the glide slope. Check the flaps again, so I have, okay, 2 flaps, that's good. Now it's loading the close range textures. Okay. Now I got a vest notification, but that's not big of an issue because it loaded the airport already. Yeah. Oh, I bumped it again, like last time.
80 knots.
It's always because I'm not used to the front wheels. Brake a little bit.
60 knots.
Okay. Tail weight is coming down. That's the moment that I can brake. Before I go to the bottom real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, please do not leave your seat until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
Okay, tail wheel lock can come off, and I go to the taxi view. Why the hell is the taxi view doing that shit? I should end the flight now, because otherwise it's gonna crash. As you may hear that but actually the airport is loaded, so I hope that VES is enough. I'm on 0.1 VES. I hope that's enough. GSX would kill it. Let's try to use GSX, guys. Just taxi to the first gate that I see. I need to fix it more. But my issue is right now is I have no clue what I should fix more. Maybe I can configure the airport a little bit, like the FlyTampa one. For example, remove the static airplanes. That should save a lot. Go to the 17 to our left. Don't travel further now. Just want to get this done.
Ladies and gentlemen, on a wing and a prayer, we have arrived at our destination. On behalf of the captain and crew, we thank you for making us your first choice air carrier and hope you will join us again.
Okay, FSPassengers and flight. Okay. Whew! It ended the flight, that is good, because then it doesn't crash. So, we got a more realistic flight, of course. Virtual Airlines flight 139, normal flight type, company Virtual Airline, yeah, Douglas DC-3, yep. From ZH, yeah, because for some strange reason it counts EHAM for me as ZHAM, I don't know why. ESSA, Arlanda, Sweden, 622 nautical miles, airborne time 3 hours, flight time clock is 4 hours and 11 minutes because of a good wind. We got a nice touchdown with 92 knots. Then the total fuel use was 2,913 pounds. And is there something how much we have left? I don't see it. But we got an average cruise speed of 178 knots, that's good. Cruise time was 3 hours and 29 minutes. Passengers' opinion were a bit in mood because they had food and were rated by the excess TFOs. That was the last bit because of this weird, yeah. We got a ticket income of 8,077 because of the actually long-term flight. Then we got 458 pounds of cargo, what brings us $722. Food brings us nothing because we are high quality. That cost us plus 407. We got a fuel cost of 1,673 pounds. Dollars by 2,930 pounds, an airport tax of 30 because of a small aircraft, and the insurance rate for $622. That would be a total income in real for 6,760, but because of the total, because of the real income, we got go to 38,000 plus. Around the same for the 2 fleet bonus, so we got around $730,000. That's actually good, and our reputation increased by 1.4, and we got a perfect flight pilot bonus, very nice nailing. We got a 150 perfect flight bonus. We got 30 you landed at a scheduled airport, and long flight without times acceleration or without any problems with Delta-Passengers brings us 196 points. That's actually really good. Okay, so we close that. Flight ended. It seems like because of the... I think now the game crashed. Yeah, the sound. Interesting. Or can I fix it with... Wait a second. Oh. Normally now it should... doing it. Yeah, now it's doing it, okay. But I cannot see outside, because then, yeah. No, it's going up to half again. I don't know. I need to fix that. I'm gonna tap out, otherwise we're gonna get a lot of reasons. Yeah, that was it for today. Was a long-term flight actually with the DC-3. That was actually a test also for the long flight that I said that we could do for long haul flights with the DC-3 towards Asia. And actually it was funny to fly and DC-3 towards long hauls. The great thing about this is actually that you have a good plane for do it. I don't like the comment, you know that. That means that I yeah, try always to find a good way to get around the comment. But to be fair, it was amazing. It was a good thing. It was funny to fly. I need to check how to solve this FS issue in Arlanda, and yeah, I hopefully see you guys soon with the next flight for the vintage airline, and then we probably fly the flight from Heraklion with the Comet, because I paused it again for so long with the Comet to fly the next leg towards Kaitak. So see you guys in the next episode of Vintage Airliner Series and FSPassengers. See ya!